Hello, welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot. It's time for a mini. This is an interesting mini that I'm going to do today. There's been a lot of talk about the spring of 2024. And wait until March, wait until April. There's going to be a lot of shifts happening. There's astrological stuff that's happening that is going to, impact the energies and reactions, etc. But honestly, we're at the end of November and March and April are still pretty far away. And so I thought what I would do is just take a quick peek and see what now until the end of this year looks like. Because things are feeling unsettled. Things are feeling like they're starting to spiral, right? I mean, you've got so much anger and rage, and you have almost like a competition who can say the most outrageous thing. And you got a speaker of the house who thinks that all of the answers come from the Bible, not the Constitution. There's just a lot going on, and so I want to it's going to be channeled. I want to ask Spirit if it can just give me sort of an encapsulated version of what we can expect between now and the end of this year, and how we process that, handle that, cope with that. So let's ask the question, shall we? Spirit, what can you please tell us with regards to the next days and weeks and months that take us to December 31st, 2023? What is the energy like between now and the end of the year? What should we be aware of? What do we need to heads up on? What do we brace for? Okay. So the first thing they're showing me or telling me is that there is going to continue to be an effort within certain fractions of the Republican Party who continue to tear things down and continue to destroy stuff. So, the rhetoric that I was talking about in yesterday's mini, I think you're going to continue to see that, right? This sort of setting the intention that I'm going to disassemble everything and rebuild it. And let's not forget, there's a group of people in the Republican Party, in the House in particular, that is their agenda, all right? Their agenda is to burn it all down. So it feels like that's going to continue to be the energy. Now, do not confuse the energy with something that's actually going to happen, because they're not really showing it happening, but they're talking about it. There's going to be a lot of talk about it. There's going to be a lot of anxiety sort of created about it. So this is something you're going to want to step back from, because in reality, it's not like real. Okay. They're saying that to some degree, Trump is going to get gagged, but not to the point where it'll like shut him up, unfortunately. So the threats, the nasty comments, that kind of stuff is going to continue coming out of the Trump, um, I guess legal team or Truth Social or wherever it comes from. Apparently, his latest thing is, I was just being sarcastic. So, I don't know. Has he done the one, can't you take a joke? Has he gone to I was just joking yet? Or has he started on I was just being sarcastic? I really didn't mean to threaten people. That's going to continue. Despite the fact that things with the economy are going to sort of stabilize, I guess. Um, there's going to continue to be that feeling that things are tight and things are difficult. And so, again, my perception of what's difficult and your perception of what's difficult financially may be very, very different things. And so I think that it's important if you start hearing this information to just sort of slow down and look internally, look in your own checkbook, look in your own life. Yes, I think everybody has had to, tighten their belt. Everybody has had to become a little bit more conservative or cautious about where their money's going and how it's getting spent. But don't fall into the, well, whoever they are, say things are bad. And so, even though it's not terrible for me, it must be really bad. Let's keep that mindset pushed back because don't forget, your perception creates your reality. And I'm not for a second minimizing the fact that it is difficult out there. And there's a lot of concerns out there, particularly with people who are on, tight budget or limited income. But again, it is a matter of, sort of just not automatically believing everything you hear. um, Take that extra moment to see how it actually impacts or reflects in your life, in your world. All right. It feels like there's going to be a bit of an uptick, if you will, in what is going on in Ukraine, Russia, but I'm not seeing an escalation to a place where it causes sort of worldwide or real global concern. Okay, nobody is going to push no nuclear button. None of that kind of stuff is going to happen. But don't be surprised if there is an uptick. And the reality is that, honestly, unfortunately, the Ukraine war has sort of fallen off of the radar because, of course, you got this whole thing going on with Israel and Hamas and Palestine. So there's that. Um, as far as that situation, and I said when this whole thing started, I was not going into that energy. It was pure hate. But what they're telling me, sort of from a distance, is that um, that situation is going to be like flare ups and then sort of a calm, and flare ups and a calm. Um, but it feels as if there has been so much kind of like worldwide um, commentary on how things are and are not being handled. And there is such an increase in sort of hate crimes and hate speech that there's sort of going to be a bit of an attempt to try to scale it back or balance it. Now, I don't know if that means technically in those countries in that space if they're going to try to scale it back, or if just media outlets are going to quit being so reactionary um, to everything that's going on. So you can anticipate that. In some ways, this is like a period of sort of cleaning out the closet before the new year starts. So it feels like there's going to be more stuff sort of getting exposed or brought to the surface, or more stuff that we become aware of, right? Earlier this week, it was this talk about this guy who got pardoned because he somehow was connected to Jared Kushner. And in the last day of Trump in office, he just pardoned this guy, except it totally screwed up a whole bunch of investigations that the Department of Justice had been working on with this guy. And so, like, stuff like that is going to come out where there's going to be, again, more and more um, information just coming out about, um, you know, corruption and behaviors that are not really in keeping with, what one expect. And that includes within the Supreme Court. I'm getting that there's going to be at least one more kind of about one of the justices coming out. Um, so what they're saying is the period between now and the end of the year. And in a way, they're saying, thank goodness that there's like enough holidays in there and breaks, and Congress isn't going to be busy doing their thing all the time, like day in and day out, um, because there's going to be a lot of stuff going on that is going to sort of create a feeling of being unsettled or like things are spiraling, and they're cautioning you that that's not really it. What it is that the last of the stuff is getting pulled out from behind the closet, and this is sort of the okay, we need to take a look at it. As we move into 2024, there's going to be some significant astrological shifts, of which I know nothing about. But the energies are going to start shifting and changing. And so, in some ways, it is important that the stuff that needs to get looked at, get brought out into the light of day, that happen. And that's sort of what the next, um, I guess, like 4 or 5 weeks are about. I mean, golly, oh golly, I mean, the end of December is like right around the corner. Um, so this is a good time, they're saying. This is a good time of year no matter what you celebrate or don't celebrate. But this is a really good time of year to focus in um on love, on charity, on positive energies. This is a great time to um, listen to uplifting music, to watching uplifting, movies or television, to um, find events within your community that celebrate the community, and that kind of energy is going to go a really long way to helping smooth out some of the rougher edges that you can expect over the next 4 weeks or so. So I think what they're trying to say is it's going to be a little bit bumpy, but the timing is such that you're going to be able to take advantage sort of the season. And, when whether that's Christmas or any other holidays, whether you're just looking towards the new year, but it's, take advantage of the season, of the time, to really focus in on higher vibrational energies, higher vibrational um, e- experiences, because that is going to be so much more beneficial than becoming anxious and worried about kind of the stuff that's going on. Um, it, they it feels very much like um it's just staticky, that's the energy. It's just sort of staticky, and we as humans don't respond well to that. We don't like that. It agitates us. And so the fix is to remove ourselves from the agitation. You know, focus our energies on those positive responses and reactions to the things that are going on around us, as opposed to sort of dipping into that level of anxiety and worry. So that's kind of what I know right now. That's the information that they're giving me. There's going to be some interesting news coming out. There's going to be a couple of bombshells coming out. There's going to be some shifts and adjustments. I don't know whether that's in the House or the Senate. I guess maybe, I don't even know. Maybe by now Santos has already been booted out. But just focus on the positive energy of whatever the situation is, and know that that's going to just make it much easier um, to get from now to the last day of 2023. Great. Thank you very, very much for being here. Your support is incredibly appreciated. Until tomorrow for Pendulum Friday, don't forget to put those questions in the comment section. Bye for now.